You might not know this, but plastics are not just dangerous to turtles. They are one of many pollutants causing climate change. About 110 million tons of plastic are produced every year in the world. And guess what plastics are made out of? Fossil fuels. And we all know how fossil fuels contribute to climate change. Just from the extraction of fossil fuels, about 13 million tons of carbon dioxide are released. And that's just the extraction phase. Before the extraction phase, they have to clear the land of any trees. From the deforestation, almost 1.7 billion tons of carbon dioxide gets released. Carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas. Greenhouse gases cause the greenhouse effect, which is basically climate change. So now we've talked about getting the materials needed for plastics. Now let's move on to the production of it. According to the United States Environmental Protection Agency, or in short EPA, around 232 million tons of carbon dioxide equivalent gases are released into the environment through plastic production. And plastics don't stop releasing gases during their lifespan, which is more than 400 years. All plastics slowly emit methane and ethylene, which are powerful greenhouse gases. As the plastics decay, they exponentially release more and more gas into the atmosphere. Only around 10% of plastics get recycled every year. And 2 of that 8 becomes the same thing, while the other 8 becomes something less valuable or downsized. The other 90% of plastics either get thrown into the environment, incinerated, or put in landfills. Plastics that are incinerated release tons of gases. In 2019, it was recorded that around 850 million tons of greenhouse gases worse than carbon dioxide are released through incineration. Not only is burning plastics bad because they produce greenhouse gases, they are also bad because when you burn them, they produce poisonous chemicals which are bad for our health. And if all this greenhouse gas stuff doesn't scare you, then there is even more to worry about. Around 11 million tons of plastic gets put in the oceans each year. And when the sun beats down on those plastics, they become microplastics. Marine microorganisms then absorb these microplastics. And studies have shown that when these organisms absorb the plastics, they don't take in as much carbon dioxide as they usually do, and they cannot reproduce or grow as much. And because they are not taking in as much carbon dioxide and are not growing as much and are not reproducing as much, they are not putting out as much oxygen. And we kind of need that stuff to breathe. Now that we have talked about some of the consequences of plastics, let's get to the solutions. One big solution is called a circular economy. In a circular economy, every plastic that can't be removed from our system either has to be reusable, recyclable, or compostable. A circular economy can help our environment by reducing plastic in our oceans by 80% and by reducing greenhouse gas emissions by 25%. And not only will that help us with our environment, but also with our economy. It could create $200 billion in savings and create 700,000 new jobs. Here are some other solutions for you to make a change. Producing less waste. Instead of getting one of those one-time use plastic water bottles, get a reusable one. Another way you can help is by not using plastic cutlery. Instead, you can use metal kinds, or we do have hands for a reason. Most straws are also made out of plastic. So instead of using straws, maybe go the old-fashioned way and just. Another thing is glitter. Glitter is a microplastic, and we already talked about what microplastics do. So when you're looking for glitter, go for a biodegradable type. These are just a few solutions to help reduce your own plastic pollution. Your commitment makes us one step closer to helping our planet. Please share what you have learned, because you can't do it alone. We have to work as a team.